Are you haunted by a deep spiritual ache? That constant nagging feeling that the universe is desperately trying to send you a message, conspiring to connect you with someone truly special? Think about those bizarre moments. That person you haven't seen in years who suddenly appears right in front of you, or that perfect book on healing that falls into your hands right after a painful breakup. Most people would foolishly dismiss these events as mere coincidence, and that is precisely why they remain lost and searching. What if I told you these are not random accidents? What if they are pieces of a cosmic puzzle, a hidden language that, once understood, holds the key to ending your loneliness forever? The legendary Carl Jung decoded this divine language, unveiling a concept so powerful it will completely shatter your current reality and revolutionize your love life. It's called Synchronicity. In the next few minutes, I will hand you the secret map to this profound wisdom, a solution that works faster and more powerfully than anything you have ever tried before. But before we unlock this life-changing secret, I need you to do something for me. We are building a global community of conscious creators right here, and I want to see just how far Jung's incredible teachings can travel. Please, take a second and tell me in the comments what city or country you are watching from. And while you're there, if this is the kind of profound content you've been desperately searching for, make sure you hit that like button. A surprising number of people who find healing in these videos are not actually subscribed. If you are truly ready to stop feeling disconnected and finally master the hidden forces shaping your destiny, click that subscribe button and turn on notifications now. You don't want to miss the powerful revelations coming your way. Now, prepare yourself. What you are about to discover isn't just theory. It is a practical guide to attracting the love you've always dreamed of, by finally learning to read the signs the universe is already sending you. Carl Jung defined synchronicity as the simultaneous occurrence of psychic and physical events that lack a causal relationship but possess a common meaning. In simpler terms, they are those meaningful coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. And when it comes to love, these synchronicities can be the most powerful signs that you are on the right path toward an authentic connection. Think about your own experience. How many times have you met someone and immediately felt that you already knew them, or had conversations that flow so naturally that it seems they were always meant to happen? These are not romantic fantasies. Jung believed that when two people are psychologically prepared to meet, the universe creates the perfect conditions for that to happen. But here is the key that most people don't understand. Synchronicity in love doesn't work when you are desperately looking for someone to fill your emotional voids. It works when you have done the inner work, when you have integrated your conscious and unconscious aspects, when you are whole within yourself. It is then that you attract connections that complement your totality rather than completing your lack. Jung observed that the most powerful synchronicities occur during periods of intense psychological transformation. It's as if the universe responds to your inner growth, orchestrating external encounters that reflect your new internal reality. Have you noticed how when you are in a good emotional place, the right people just appear in your life? This is not a coincidence. Now let me share with you a powerful exercise based on Jung's principles. For the next 7 days before you go to sleep, write down 3 things in a journal. First, a moment of the day when you felt you were being completely authentic with yourself. Second, any coincidence or unexpected encounter you had. And third, what emotions or thoughts did you have just before that coincidence? At the end of the week, review your notes. You will be surprised by the patterns that emerge. Have you noticed how some relationships come into your life just when you need to learn something specific about yourself? Jung called this projection, but in the context of synchronicity, these relationships arrive to help you integrate aspects of your personality that you have not yet fully recognized, and we will talk about that in the next point. The second, fundamental aspect of synchronicity in love has to do with what Jung called the anima and the animus. These are the feminine and masculine aspects that we all carry within, regardless of our biological gender. When we have not fully integrated these aspects, we tend to project them onto other people, creating what we popularly know as love at first sight or obsessive attraction. Jung wrote, Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to a better understanding of ourselves. This quote takes on a profound meaning when we apply it to romantic relationships. That person who inexplicably fascinates you, who makes you feel complete in ways you can't explain, is not your other half. They are a mirror of the aspects of yourself that you have not yet fully developed. Think about your last intense relationship. What qualities of that person attracted you the most? Their confidence, their creativity, their ability to be vulnerable. Now reflect honestly. Were these qualities that you felt you lacked? Synchronicity in love often presents us with exactly the people we need to awaken these dormant qualities in ourselves. But here's the trap that many people fall into. They confuse projection with true love. They fall in love with their own image reflected in the other. And when that person inevitably reveals their full humanity, with flaws and complexities, the illusion shatters. However, when you understand synchronicity from a Jungian perspective, every relationship becomes an opportunity for growth and self-knowledge. The real magic happens when two people who have done their inner work meet. Instead of seeking to complete each other, they recognize each other as fellow travelers on the path of individuation. Their synchronicities are not needy projections, but conscious recognitions of an authentic affinity. Here is a transformative exercise for you. Make a list of the qualities you most admire in the people you have fallen in love with. Then ask yourself, how can I develop these qualities in myself? Not to attract someone specific, but to become the most complete version of yourself. Jung believed that when we integrate our anima or animus, we stop desperately searching for love and begin to attract it naturally. Have you noticed how the deepest and most lasting relationships often begin with a sense of familiarity, as if you have known that person for a long time? This is one of the most beautiful manifestations of synchronicity in love, and we will talk about that in the next point. The third dimension of synchronicity in love is related to what Jung called the collective unconscious. This is the deepest level of the psyche, where we share symbols, archetypes, and universal patterns with all of humanity. When you experience a synchronous love connection, you are not only connecting with that individual person, but also with something much larger. Jung stated, "The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed." This transformation is not only personal, it is archetypal. When two people meet through synchronicity, they are playing out one of the eternal dramas of human love, the meeting of the king and the queen, the hero and the heroine, the sage and the muse. Consider for a moment the great love stories of literature and mythology. Romeo and Juliet, Tristan and Isolde. Even modern stories like that of Johnny Cash and June Carter. They all share certain elements. A meeting that seems predestined, obstacles that must be overcome, and a mutual transformation that goes beyond the personal. These are not just romantic stories. They are maps of how synchronicity works at the deepest level of love. But you don't need to be a legendary character to experience this archetypal dimension of love. Every time you meet someone and immediately feel that this person will play an important role in your life story, you are experiencing a collective synchronicity. It's as if the universe is writing a larger story, and you two are necessary characters for that narrative. The key to recognizing these archetypal connections is to develop what Jung called symbolic thinking. Instead of seeing every encounter only in practical or superficial terms, you begin to ask yourself, what role is this person playing in my development as a human being? What aspects of my potential are they awakening? What lessons are they bringing into my life? Here is a profound exercise for this week. Identify the 3 people who have had the greatest impact on your love life, whether from relationships, deep friendships, or even brief but significant encounters. For each one, write down what archetypes they represented in your life. The teacher who taught you about vulnerability, the mirror that showed you your shadow, the catalyst that pushed you toward your true path. By doing this, you will begin to see deeper patterns in your love story. Jung believed that when we recognize these archetypal patterns, we stop being victims of our projections and become conscious participants in the great theater of love. We no longer seek only romance or companionship, but connections that contribute to our process of individuation and mutual growth. Have you ever wondered why certain people remain in your life for decades, while others disappear after fulfilling their purpose? This is the fourth dimension of synchronicity in love, and it is related to what Jung called psychological timing, and we will talk about that in the next point. The fourth crucial aspect of synchronicity in love is the concept of psychological time versus chronological time. Jung observed that the unconscious does not operate according to our clocks and calendars, but according to cycles of growth, transformation, and psychological maturation. This means that the right people come into our lives exactly when we are psychologically ready for them, not necessarily when we think we need them. Jung wrote, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes." This quote is fundamental to understanding why some love connections flourish immediately, while others take years to materialize, and why some people enter and leave our lives at specific times. Think about that person you met years ago, with whom you had an instant connection, but for some reason, circumstances did not allow the relationship to develop. Years later, you meet again, and now everything flows perfectly. Was it a coincidence or synchronicity? Jung would say that you both needed to grow, learn certain lessons, integrate certain aspects of your personality before you were ready for an authentic connection. Psychological timing also explains why some relationships that seemed perfect on paper simply don't work. You can have everything in common with someone, share values and interests, but if your cycles of psychological growth are not synchronized, the relationship will feel forced or empty. It's no one's fault. It's simply a matter of internal timing. This understanding can free you from a lot of frustration and guilt in love. When a relationship doesn't work, instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" or "What's wrong with this person?" you can ask, "Are we at the same point in our psychological journey?" Sometimes the answer is no, and that's perfectly fine. Now comes my most important question for you, and I really want you to reflect on this. If you are listening to me this far, if this message is resonating with you, it's because you have reached a point in your psychological development where you are ready for more conscious and authentic relationships. Subscribe to this channel if you feel it's time to leave behind unconscious love patterns and start creating connections from a place of greater wisdom and self-knowledge. The exercise for this point is powerful, but requires brutal honesty. Review your love history and identify the timing patterns. When did the most significant people come into your life? What emotional or psychological state were you in? What were you learning about yourself at those moments? You will realize that the deepest connections coincide with periods of intense personal growth. Jung also observed that when we are in transition between life stages, we are more susceptible to love synchronicities. Divorces, career changes, moves, significant losses. All these events open doors in the unconscious that allow for new connections. It's not that we are vulnerable and making bad decisions. It's that we are psychologically open to new possibilities. Have you noticed how after doing deep self-knowledge work, the people who appear in your life are qualitatively different? This is the power of psychological timing in action, and we will talk about that in the next point. The fifth and perhaps most transformative dimension of synchronicity in love is what Jung called the process of shared individuation. This occurs when two people not only fall in love, but become conscious partners on the journey to becoming who they truly are. It is the highest level of love synchronicity, where the relationship itself becomes a vehicle for mutual spiritual and psychological growth. Jung stated, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." When two people committed to their own individuation process meet, something magical happens. They are no longer trying to complete each other or avoid their own shadows through the other. Instead, they support each other to face their fears, integrate their rejected aspects, and develop their highest potential. Imagine a relationship where both people feel safe to be completely vulnerable, where they can share their deepest insecurities without fear of judgment, where they mutually celebrate their individual growth instead of feeling threatened by it. This is the most beautiful manifestation of synchronicity in love. Two people who recognize each other as soulmates in the deepest sense. But beware of romantic misunderstandings about soulmates. Jung did not believe in other halves waiting to be reunited. He believed in whole individuals who consciously choose to grow together. The difference is fundamental. In the first case, you are looking for someone to complete you. In the second, you are looking for someone with whom you can create something greater than the sum of its parts. Relationships of shared individuation have distinctive characteristics. First, both people maintain their individual identity while building something together. Second, conflicts are seen as opportunities for growth, not as threats to the relationship. Third, there is a deep respect for the other's development process, even when that process takes them down different paths. Here is an exercise that can completely change your perspective on love. Make 2 lists. In the first, write down all the qualities you look for in a partner. In the second, write down all the qualities you are willing to offer in a relationship. Now compare them honestly. Are you asking for things you are not willing to give? Are you looking for qualities in others that you have not developed in yourself? This can be an uncomfortable but liberating revelation. Jung observed that people who have done their inner work naturally attract other people who have also done theirs. It is not an infallible, universal law, but it is a strong tendency. When you stop looking for love from a place of lack and start offering it from a place of inner abundance, the whole game changes. The synchronicity in these relationships manifests in subtle but powerful ways. Conversations that arise exactly when one of you needs to hear something specific. Books, movies, or experiences that come into your lives simultaneously. Dreams that complement or reflect similar themes. These are not mystical events. They are natural manifestations of 2 psyches that are in tune with themselves and with each other. Are you ready for this level of connection? Are you willing to do the inner work necessary to attract and maintain a relationship of shared individuation? Because this type of love requires courage, honesty, and an unwavering commitment to your own growth. The truth that Carl Jung taught us about love and synchronicity is at once simple and revolutionary. True love is not something you find out there. It is something you cultivate from within. When you become a whole, authentic person committed to your own development, love synchronicities are not rare coincidences. They are the natural way the universe responds to your new vibration. The 5 dimensions we have explored today, the recognition of meaningful coincidences, the integration of the anima and animus, the connection with archetypal patterns, the understanding of psychological time and shared individuation, are not abstract concepts to contemplate. They are practical tools to completely transform your experience of love. But here is the beautiful paradox of it all. When you stop desperately chasing love and focus on becoming the best version of yourself, love begins to chase you. Not because you have applied some manifestation technique, but because you have done the inner work that makes you a natural magnet for authentic connections. Remember that feeling that someone special is out there waiting for you? Jung would say, "You're right, but not in the way you think. That special person is yourself, fully developed and expressed. And when that version of you emerges, the people who resonate with that frequency naturally appear in your life. If you have watched until this very moment, it is no accident. It is a sign that you are standing at a profound crossroads, ready to claim the conscious, authentic love you were born to experience. I want to thank you and honor your courage for staying on this path. The spiritual solution you now possess is not for passive listening. It is a cosmic blueprint that demands action. So, your journey of true transformation begins now. You have a crucial task ahead. I am not asking you to do everything. Just choose one of the powerful exercises I shared today. Commit to it for 1 week, as if your future depends on it, because it does, and witness the universe begin to rearrange itself around you. And here is your final challenge, a declaration to yourself and to the cosmos. If you feel in your soul that you are ready to shatter your old unconscious love patterns and attract connections that contribute to your growth, I want you to go to the comments section right now and write this powerful affirmation. I am the architect. This is your declaration that you are no longer a passenger, but the conscious creator of your love life. If this message has ignited a fire within you, please honor that energy by hitting the like button. And understand this, a staggering number of people who watch these videos people on the verge of a breakthrough, are not subscribed and risk losing this momentum. Do not let that be you. Solidify your commitment to your growth by clicking that subscribe button now. We have only scratched the surface of Jung's wisdom, and you do not want to miss the deeper secrets we are about to unlock in the coming videos. Share this with anyone you know who is ready to awaken. Your most beautiful love story is now ready to begin. But it starts not with finding someone else, but by finally, passionately, and completely writing the most important love story of all, the one you have with yourself.